Tonight, Occupy Sandy.
These are the effects of global warming in real and human terms, and it's not pretty.
We need to stop calling it Sandy. We need to call it Exxon.
Wild in the streets.
I was sitting there minding my own business, doing my morning routine. I was thinking, did I drink too much last night? I don't know what happened.
Unfair.
It's the last MTA fare hike hearing in Staten Island. It should be a good one because the tolls and fares they pay here go to support the rest of the system.
The news is now.
Hello, I'm Jody Applegate. Now your Pix 11 at 10, and there is some weird stuff going on tonight, including a rogue zebra and a drunk Viking. But first, Occupy Wall Street is now Occupy Sandy, and it's making a difference, but they're getting into trouble with some guerrilla movie making. Narmeen Chaudhry is live in the East Village with the story. Narmeen?
Jody, this may not seem like the most ideal place for a movie screening, but that's exactly what happened. It was turned into a makeshift movie theater, a film projected onto the wall of that building. The topic, climate change and Sandy. In just about a month, a documentary film about Superstorm Sandy and climate change was edited and premiered in a pop-up guerrilla-style movie screening in the Lower East Side. The production, the secrecy of the location for the screening, almost like a scavenger hunt, organized by the one and only Occupy movement.
You'd hear the guy on the Weather Channel saying, Exxon is coming ashore along the Jersey coast, destroying houses left and right.
To find the screening location, one had to either text Occupy Sandy or follow the hashtag climate crime on Twitter. Eventually, you would have been led here to East 2nd and Avenue C.
We're a small, group of networks. A huge way that we communicate is through the social media, through the internet.
The film captures thousands of Occupy Sandy volunteers mobilizing to help Sandy victims in devastated areas like Staten Island, the Rockaways, Red Hook, and Coney Island, then drawing a connection to the issue of climate change.
It's not a thing that happened and now we're reporting back on it. It's a thing that's still happening. It's a crisis that's still growing.
It's really a time for people to step up and get a reality check.
Joan Flynn and Steve Jambak's home in the Rockaways was destroyed by floodwaters. To this day, they cannot return home. But it is thanks to Occupy Sandy volunteers. They say they were given some hope. Occupy Sandy being the first to mobilize and help in their community when they had nowhere else to turn.
The response by the city and by FEMA has been slow and sort of uncaring, where the Occupy Sandy people immediately organized.
We thought we were ready for what was to come, and we weren't. I'm angry that this did not have to take place. This to me is definitely climate change.
The location for this movie screening right next to a mobile gas station. No accident. Fuel companies not escaping mention or blame in tonight's film. Also, we should mention that the documentary film was created by filmmaker Josh Fox, who is Oscar nominated for a controversial documentary film, Gasland. We are reporting live in the Lower East Side. I'm Narmeen Chaudhry, Pix 11 News. We now go to Jay Dow in Staten Island.
For those of you who have heard or seen the video of a zebra running down Victory Boulevard on Staten Island, it's gone viral. And if you thought you were hallucinating, we can assure you it happened. The zebra is real. Do not attempt to adjust your TV settings or smack the DVR. Yes, that is a Shetland pony and a zebra taking a Wednesday morning trot down Staten Island's Victory Boulevard.
I was sitting there minding my own business, doing my morning routine.
Business owner Zachary Osher just happened to be in the right place at the right time and recorded the stroll with his cell phone. That morning routine did not include any hallucinogens, did it?
I was thinking, did I drink too much last night? I don't know what happened.
Zachary attempted to prevent the animals from wandering into traffic, but the pony clearly had other plans as he led the naive zebra, which, just in case you were wondering, is not indigenous to the United States.
And a car came to a screeching halt and almost hit the animals. I tried running after the animals, but they banked right. And again, the zebra following everywhere the pony's going. And
the pony knows where it's going.
The pony was the alpha male. It knew it was going, and the pony was following, or the zebra was following right behind it.
Zachary, the pony's a New Yorker.
And the zebra's an out-towner, I guess. So I turned off my camera and I turned around, and there were two guys in like blue jumpsuits running after the animals with lassos.
Zachary, what did you drink last night? Fortunately for Zachary's sake, there were other witnesses.
We got the Christmas tree stand up the block, and I thought I was hallucinating. I really did. It was really a wild scene. I couldn't believe it.
Believe it. Let's make sure we lock that gate now. Because the animals actually live down the street in a pen owned by 31-year-old Giovanni Sciarippa. He says he paid $6,000 for the zebra. Giovanni, what happened this morning?
Nothing. I went to go feed him and he just ran out. I left the gate open.
Does this zebra have a name?
Rozzy.
Rozzy. So how long have you had Rozzy?
2 months. I just bought him.
Why?
Because I did a petting zoo for Oktoberfest down the block, so I figured I'd get something different.
A spokesperson for New York Animal Care and Control confirms zebras are not legal pets, but acknowledges they are permissible in petting zoos. Still, Zachary Osher, who recorded the escape, says he fears for the animals' safety.
That's dangerous for the animals and dangerous for people.
Giovanni disagrees.
What about when somebody's dog runs away? Or cat? My horse ran away. I mean, right or wrong?
Giovanni says he doesn't want any more negative attention on the animals. Both Rozzy and Casper are leaving this area, leaving his home. Rozzy the zebra going back to Phillipsburg, New Jersey for the winter. On Staten Island, the wilds of Staten Island, Jay Dow, Pix 11 News.
Well, we're here in Rockefeller Center where, what are we doing here? Oh yeah, like a light bulb, or more like 45,000 light bulbs. A Christmas tree was turned on tonight. A repellent to some when this ceremony takes place. It is a magnet to many others. And we were able to pull together a conversation tonight that represented, with us being Manhattan, represented every borough of our city. Where are you guys from?
Queens. The Bronx.
Staten Island. Holy cow!
Yes.
Staten Island.
Oh no, Brooklyn. Brooklyn. Oh, okay, we have Brooklyn. They come from all the boroughs, all over the world, all over the country, and mostly from places that already have trees. But they've come to see this tree. A little messed up that nobody went to visit it when it was in New Jersey, but heck, down in Rockefeller Center tonight, it has plenty of fans. Some, like John from upstate, came super prepared. What you got here? So
gloves,
you're ready for it to get
sweaters? Yes, we are.
Binoculars.
Yep.
That's a big tree. You needed binoculars to see the tree?
I did.
The tree wasn't the only star here tonight as performers headlined the show, although in some cases the tree was more famous, we found, than the performers. Do you know who Rod Stewart is?
No.
Il Volo.
Il Volo, I'm out.
Chris Mann.
Chris Mann is a maybe.
Victoria Justice.
Vaguely familiar.
She sounds like a superhero or something.
Yes.
Victoria Justice.
Yeah, we didn't.
Chris Mann.
No.
So Brooke White.
No.
Tony Bennett.
No.
Wow, no Tony Bennett.
No.
No Tony Bennett.
No.
Il Volo?
No.
Sounds like a nice restaurant.
Yes.
The tough question would be answered by the group of locals we are so proud of. If you guys know this, I'll be impressed. Il Volo.
I actually do know. Is that the opera group?
Yeah.
I actually do know.
We have a winner. We have a winner. Some of the big names were pre-recorded, apparently a secret that investigators at the NYPD had figured out.
No, she's pre-recorded.
Is she going to be here?
I doubt it.
Who's this?
Mariah Carey.
And there were other troubling rumors. We had to kill the tree in New Jersey in order to bring it here.
I know, we saw.
And then we had to break off branches and then drill holes. And the rumor is we had to drill holes and put branches back in to make it look fuller. But does that take away from the enjoyment? Does that seem a bit cruel to a tree?
Yeah, it does sound a bit cruel.
Pre-recorded or not, hacked up Frankentree or not, the lighting is a magical thing in the end.
The Rockefeller tree being lit. The tree.
And serves up the kid in all of us this holiday season. One of the reasons probably this tree as we come back live looks so majestic. It is over 80 feet tall. How you get a tree, how much miracle growth you got to use in order to get a tree to grow that high, we do not know. But we do have one suggestion. This ceremony is very, very quick. When they want the tree lit, they throw the switch, the tree goes on. Perhaps a suggestion to consider to pull it out a little bit, maybe swirl the lights so that the tree gets lit slowly. Maybe we can make that experience maybe 10 seconds instead of 1 second. I don't know. We don't work here, so what can we say? We're live in Rockefeller Center. Arthur Chen, Pix 11 News. Jody.
All right, Arthur, thank you very much. And now to the latest from the Pix 11 news desk. The Upper West Side nanny charged with killing 2 children pleaded not guilty to murder today. Yoselin Ortega was arraigned from her hospital bed. Ortega's attorney entered the plea for the nanny, who's still recovering from her stab wounds. She's handcuffed to the bed. Cops say she tried to kill herself after killing Lucia and Leo Krim. Colleen Long was the only media member allowed inside.
Blanket was covering her, and she seemed very small, and you know, her hand being shaking, it was her thin hand being shaking the entire time, gave me the impression that she was frail, but her eyes were very much open.
On January 16th, there will be a hearing to determine whether or not Ortega is mentally fit to stand trial. Another one of the crackheads who killed Officer Edward Byrne has been denied parole. Scott Cobb is the latest to be rejected by the parole board. Cobb was the getaway driver back in 1988 when Byrne sat alone in his car guarding the home of a man who spoke out against drug dealers in a Jamaica neighborhood. Cobb cooperated with investigators in the 1989 case against Pappy Mason. Mason was the kingpin who ordered the hit on Byrne. The cop killers will be eligible for parole every 2 years from now on. Nicholas Mina is going to jail. The former New York City police officer was officially sentenced to 15.5 years behind bars for stealing guns from police lockers and selling them to drug dealers. He was feeding his oxycodone addiction. The rogue cop, who was arrested in July, made a plea deal in October. He was on the force for close to 5 years and worked in the East Village. Police are on the lookout for this guy. They want to talk to him about an attempted rape in Brooklyn. 2 weeks ago, a 21-year-old woman got off a train and headed home. She was followed and sexually assaulted before a Good Samaritan intervened. The suspect is described as in his 20s, 6 feet tall, 170 pounds, last seen wearing a black jacket and winter hat with drawstrings. If you have any information, call Crime Stoppers at 800-577-TIPS. The families of the 112 workers killed in the Bangladesh garment factory fire will be compensated for their loss. In what may be the most insulting death benefit ever, they'll get a pathetic $1,200 each from a company linked to Diddy's clothing line. The factory also made clothing for Walmart, Sears, and Disney. Most of the workers in that factory were women from the poorest region of Bangladesh. Doors were locked, exits were blocked, and fire extinguishers didn't work. Guess who's coming to lunch? It's Mitt Romney. The former presidential candidate and President Obama will sit down for lunch tomorrow. It's the first time they'll see each other since the election. On the agenda, some of Romney's ideas that might help the country. On the menu, who knows?
Don't you tell me you're full, just eat it, eat it. Get yourself an egg and beat it.
Producers in a wacky mood tonight. And tonight's top tweet topic is this: Obama and Romney. Well, Obama ate Romney's lunch on election night, I guess you could say. So what should the president serve Mitt Romney when he comes to lunch tomorrow? Answers can be serious or not. I'm at Jody Apple K. Remember the drunk Canadian guy who sang a pitch-perfect version of Bohemian Rhapsody in the back of a Royal Canadian Mounted Police cruiser? Well, he has had his day in court for drunk driving. He represented himself, and he wore a Viking hat.
Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama.
He sang the full 6-minute song. Alas, Robert Wilkinson's time before a judge was not as stellar as his Freddie Mercury voice, because as they say, a man who represents himself has a fool for a client. Bob lost his license and has to pay $1,400. Sometimes he wishes he'd never been born at all. And that brings us to number 11. 11 is weather. Let's go to Mr. G at the weather wall. G.
Heck of a first block, eh?
Wow.
All right, let's go to work, everybody around the tri-state area. We're going to show the clear skies. That's good. The beam up north is good. High pressure across the Ohio Valley is dry as heck. 2/3 of this country has very little going on. So let's take the deal. 35-26 Montgomery, already under the full moon. You could see it's really, really chilly out there. A real feel of 30 degrees. But here's a sneak peek at the 7-day forecast. Even though it's chilly right now, okay? Look at that shot. It becomes milder over the weekend.
Ooh.
And the latter part of the weekend, we may even use the word warm.
Ooh.
Warmer.
Ooh.
3 oohs.
That was a 3 ooh forecast. Thank you, Mr. G.
Ooh.
And a 5-star forecast. Weather wraps up your Pix 11 at 10. We'll be right back.
I'm the 4.
Next, sound off.
And thus ends another exciting round of MTA fare and toll hike increase hearings. But before they decide how much they're going up, Staten Islanders give the MTA board a piece of their mind.
Trapped.
It's horrible. It's depressing. It's not fair, and we do not deserve this. I feel like a prisoner in my own apartment.
Overly attached girlfriend gives back.
If I was your girlfriend, I'd drive you up the wall.
To think that the crazy, weird videos that I've done is resulting in something like this, it makes it worth it.